Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode. And here is Brett.
Hello, guys. How are we?
Here we go.
This is fantastic. I can't hear anybody, though.
All right.
Hey, there we go.
So, this is episode 56, I think.
56.
And that's the number 14 from home.
I like the redecorating you've done there, Beach.
Yes. Oh, wait a second. I think Beach is on mute. Sorry, everyone.
Oh,
Beach, you're back. Sorry, I mute you.
I'm back.
You're back.
Hello again.
Hello again. And
So you enjoy my decorating here?
I love it. It's
I love it.
fantastic.
Good, isn't
that must have
Is it
done a
just
lot of
us
work
three
in
tonight,
first day
guys?
lockdown. Decorations.
it?
Is it just us three tonight?
It looks like it.
For
Oh,
now, yes. Let's see if anyone else jumps on board. So, everyone, welcome to this Hearns At Home show. So, tonight, again, Melbourne is in lockdown. And so,
lockdown 5.0, isn't it?
Can't believe
It's
it's
number
the fifth
5.
time. Mm.
So, yeah, back from home. I'm from my garage. BJ's from his living room, and Brett
Yes.
from its bedroom/workshop. Is it?
I call it the home office, but we all know it's just a big toy room, don't we?
Big toy room.
Indeed.
That's right.
You will need one.
Indeed.
That's right.
Fantastic. So, Tony's jumping on board. So, hello, Tony. Welcome.
Hello,
Oh,
Tony.
fantastic,
The
Tony.
people are coming
Good to
along.
have you on board.
So tonight we have quite a few things. We have to change the plans from what we had planned, but we're going to talk about some of these arms that we saw last week. I'll see if I can go to
They come up really well. Hmm.
They come up really good, and Brett is going to have quite lots of RC stuff to present. They just got quite a few work in progress kits, I believe, and what else do we have? Bits and pieces, lots of actually train stuff. From Hearns Workshop as well. So some
that's new.
products there.
Hmm.
A lot. So Jason, welcome. Ian, yes, we're in lockdown again.
That's right.
Hopefully not for too long. So for those watching us from overseas, I guess Melbourne and Sydney are in lockdown again. So
Yes.
yeah, just another 5 days here. Hopefully only 5. So Sydney looks like we'll be in for a bit longer. But let's hope this is going to resolve very quick. So Noel is joining us. Very good. So who wants to start?
Who wants to
I
start? I
think
don't know.
Brett's gonna start. Who else could?
Who's ready? I guess. What's that?
Look at this.
Uh-huh.
This is out of the packet.
Oh,
Last
dear.
time we did last time we did Hearns at Home, I didn't
Yes.
have the forethought or the experience to take a Scalatrix car out of its packet.
Well, you know better now, don't you?
I do. BJ showed me the way, and here we go. Can anybody tell me what car this is? And obviously the big sign on the side is going to give it away. But in relation to exactly what car it's model off exactly. Yeah.
Classic, isn't it?
So, yeah, this one here,
This is what I love seeing now.
it just came into store this week. It's a new Scalatrix car. So obviously it's got the braids and the guide under here to go on your Scalatrix set. And yeah, it's actually the 1985 Bathurst winner.
Indeed. Looks like Ian has already picked that one up. So Ian Murray picked up his 1985 Jaguar XR12 Bathurst winning car. Well done. That's brilliant.
So, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's probably like the first V12 engine powered car to win Bathurst, but I may or may not be wrong there. So I'll wait for somebody to correct me. But yeah, so new Scalatrix car driven by John Goss and Armin Hahn. I want to say Hahn is a German driver. And yeah, so V12 Jag, XJS, Scalatrix, looking good.
Love seeing those XJSs on the road. You've got such a long, aggressive nose. It doesn't
They've
mess
got a
me.
really good presence, haven't they, these cars on the road when you see them, even today.
Yep.
Definitely.
Fancy the
And
long
this
ones today,
specific
though.
model is a very limited editions. So Scalextric is producing those in, I think, only 1,500 models worldwide. Well, actually, I think they are only for the Australian market. So very, very limited edition. So 1,500 of those as a one-off, really. So really, really nice little model.
Fantastic.
Very nice.
So,
very nice.
That's way better out of its packet, I think, than in. But
I agree.
that's all I've got to say on that.
Makes all the difference.
That's cool. Looks like we've got quite a few people joining us. The field team.
Yeah, good stuff.
Ian,
Good, Phil.
Evan. So good turnout tonight. So what's next? I think you got some interesting stuff, Brett, tonight.
More stuff.
More
want me to
stuff.
keep going?
Keep going.
Well, you've beat me to the punch here because I've got this servo and I actually haven't had time to take it out of its packet yet. So you're going to have to bear with me for a second while I get my hobby knife. Here we go.
This is a brand new servo, is it?
Well, it was brand new before I opened it. Now, this is the MKS servo. This is a 599. And, you know, this is something that I think we've had for probably quite a while, but it's obviously one of our flagship products, I'd like to say. And this X6 series MKS servo is definitely the top end of the scale. And you can see just the fixture and the fitting on it, the machining. It's just one beautiful servo.
Well, the case is fully aluminium, isn't it?
Fully aluminium, full CNC machine, billet aluminium. And the specs on this servo are crazy. You're talking like 38 kilograms of torque at a transit time of 0.08. Well, 0.08, sorry, of a second. Just trying to get it out of the packet. It's proving quite painful, to be honest. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, well, so the MKS are some of my favorite servo. I used to run KO for a long time, which is a fantastic servo. And recently, last few years, I switched to MKS, and they are equally, good servos. They're very reliable. They've got normally they've got a fast, like a speed servo, the 575, normally is the quick one. And they've got a 599, which is the one Brett has there, that is the more torquey one that does the 35 or 38 kg. So really good for a 1.8 buggy, or even a 1/10. I think I have one of those on my YZ4. So definitely good.
Yeah, well, this is the full size servo, as opposed to the low profile, the slim servos that we put in the 1/10 scale buggies and on-road cars. So it's devoid of a gear set that they have in those, but this is the full size, full speed, and this is the full torque. So the 599 is the torque series one, and that's got like I said, 38 kilos of torque, so plenty of torque, plenty of power. And the MKS servos, they're just I think you'll find that they're just so well, like your car just always goes straight. Like you don't really notice when you put an old servo in. I suppose you get used to it, or old radio gear, but when you put a new good quality servo in, your car just goes straight all the time. And I'm sure you can attest to that, Nick. The other thing I really like about these MKS servos is the length of the lead. Now, anybody who's got an 8 scale, particularly a Hot Buddies E819 RS, knows that the receiver box is at the back of the car, and you usually have to put a servo extension lead in or extend the wires. But with these MKS servos, you can run that all the way without any plugs or any intervention. And they've used a factory stealth black wire, of course. So that's got to be worth 2 cents.
I think so. Definitely. Definitely. And I've been reading, I haven't tested really, but they mean to be waterproof. I've seen people putting those into water. I don't know if I want to recommend that, but there's a few videos on YouTube of other users putting these in water and use those for rock crawlers. So they mean to be very well sealed.
Yeah,
very, very nice.
I'm sure. But for nearly $300 worth of servo, you wouldn't find me taking it to the beach or putting it underwater. I'm sure that it probably is very waterproof and very capable of being underwater, but still, you don't want to take your performance car in that manner. Maybe we can put one in the X-Max now.
Well, I think we actually put those on the X-Max. For the X-Max, you just need to get an adapter, because the X-Max normally takes a really big chunky servo. So you put in an adapter, and this servo is actually pretty good fit for a big X-Max.
Oh, definitely. With 38 kilos of torque, I imagine that it's way more powerful than the servo that comes in the X-Max. The X-Max might be the size of a small brick, but I guarantee you that this servo will outperform just about any other servo.
Yeah.
What servo have you got in your car, Nick?
I was just going to show that one, but I don't think we can see much. My old trusty transponder is covering, but it's actually an MKS. Let me see if I can lift this one up. It's an MKS, the 575. So, and it's a low profile. So both the 575 and the 599 comes in the size, like the one Brett is showing, and also the low profile. So on the buggy, I tend to run the low profile. That's the same one I was using in my touring car. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're definitely, I think without a doubt, the top end of the servo market. You know, I don't think anybody makes a better servo than the MKS, the X6 series. And it's a 599, 575, either full size or low profile. They are the best servos.
Cool. So, well, while you're talking about that kind of stuff, I was just showing my car that is in bits here, and is in bits because we have finally been running some of these prototype arms, and I was trying
Hearns
to put
Workshop arms.
Hearns Workshop arms. So let me see if I can zoom in. Oh no, yes, that's it. There we go. So I think last week on the live we talked about some of these arms that we've been designing. So Warwick has been designing those, and we managed to take them to the track. So Simon and Nathan, his son, have been taken to the track for a test. So obviously the concern was the strength, and we didn't know whether they were going to be strong enough, and they definitely passed that test. So this one here survived some good running and some crushing. This one here did not. This one hit a concrete wall and broke, which I guess is kind of acceptable, really. But this one here, that is probably one of the most exciting, the most innovative solution that Warwick design, is definitely going to be a winner. So we're going to now produce this in a couple different configurations, like a bit longer, because that's what we're kind of looking for on the was it 4. We want to have some longer arms at the front, and we should be able to race it. So very interesting development, because what jumping on the chat can probably fill us in, but we're using this kind of mesh inside to give strength. So it's extremely light, but also extremely durable. So we have this profile that you can see is a bit thicker in the middle here to give strength, but then inside is all hollow. So it's all empty and it's filled with this kind of mesh, which is very, very innovative.
It's all reinforced, isn't it? It's a constant
absolutely.
And that is a honeycomb structure, effectively the strongest that we could come up with to make, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, and I guess this is a kind of configuration you can only do with the technology that we're currently using. So it can be obtained with traditional injection molding. So,
so as Warwick says, it's 30% lighter than the standard one by doing so.
Correct. Well, when we talk about light, it's actually stronger because you can put material where you need, and by playing with the shapes and with the density of this, let's call it honeycomb kind of mesh, you can produce some really strong, resilient products. So obviously this is proven to be a good option, and hopefully we can take it for a proper race in the next couple of weeks, or as soon as we can race again here in Melbourne. So those workshop arms, and I guess once we have it ready for the YZ4, we can move to literally any other car, really. I mean, once we know that the technology is there and strong enough, it'll be really cool to move to other cars as well.
It's really exciting.
So absolutely. I guess one of the opportunities to be able to easily adapt and change the length of arms, for example, and it is a big tuning factor on racing cars. You can do them a bit wider or a bit narrower, depending what you're trying to obtain, and it's something you can do without a huge cost you normally have if you are injection molding or if you're using traditional methods. And here we can simply redesign it in a few hours and and have them ready the next morning. So
well, I'm pretty sure it's the same exact way that they sort of engineer and develop F1 cars or racing cars all over the world, isn't it? They'll be at a track and they'll be developing, and yet the factory, 5,000 k's away or whatever it is on the other side of the world is manufacturing parts to be sent back out.
Correct.
And that's just through research and development and digital drawing. So we're pretty lucky to have that technology, and we're bringing it to RC cars.
Absolutely. I guess it's really exciting, for us in the last, obviously, 18 months, we had to adapt to this new kind of way of operating, and we put resources into develop and innovate. I guess that's what Hearns did, in the 15 to 16 when they were inventing the first, radio control planes, well, I guess at the time were control line, and today we're trying to do the same for, the current technology.
Yes, absolutely.
So very good. So Warwick is joining us through YouTube there. Hello, Warwick. Evening.
Yeah.
So
hello.
Very good.
What have you got for us, Paige, other than a cat?
Other than the cat, well, Koo's, she's very comfortable at the moment, so we'll just leave her alone. Oh, just a bit sparked up. Well, since we're talking about...
Have you tried cutting the cat's paws with God hand nippers?
Sorry? No. I'm not doing anything God hand to my cat. Are we? All right, so since we're talking about Hearns Workshop, so we've been experimenting with radio control arms, which is proving to be a success, so we'll be moving on with that as well. But we've been working on small accessories, and we've also got a figure that we've been working on for a bit, and it's taken me a bit of time, but I'll see if I can bring this across. So I'll just show the progress of this figure at the moment. So this is the one that I showed during the last lockdown. So this little figure here, let's see if I can get it closer. Sorry, it's a bit dark, I think.
Let's see if I can put you in a bigger screen. Wait, magic.
There you go. It's just come on my face, so yeah, it's still a bit dark, but you've probably got a better idea of. Let's see. Oh, there's a bit more light there, isn't it? Okay, so there's just one leg at the moment. It's just been base coated. We just base coated the outfit. Face is practically done. There's probably some close-ups that I've already posted on Facebook and such. But it's 1/12 scale figure, fantasy type, sort of animation CG style. So this is part of the Hearns Workshop design as well. And with this particular prototype, I've just been testing the fit. Fit's been really good. Detail is impeccable. And hopefully I'll get this finished in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have some closer up shots of it. But so far, it's really good. So multi-pieces, they all fit perfectly. And I think we've got a sample of a smaller one as well. So once I finish this one, we'll move on to the next one. But that's coming up very well. So that's one of the projects I'm working on at the moment.
Is she going to be part of a larger diorama, BJ, or is she going to be like a standalone?
Not at the moment, but she could be. Do you want her to be? She could be in a fighting scene.
She doesn't look very angry.
She doesn't look angry? Oh, she's pretty angry though.
Well, yes.
Well, apart from that, I guess the other big thing that's come in is this thing here. So this is pretty exciting because this is an Australian-themed M113 APC. And this particular version is a new kit from AFV Club. I've already done an unboxing, so if you want to see really close up of it, just head down to one of the earlier YouTube videos and you'll be able to watch the full unboxing. It's got quite a number of new components, so it's not just a simple mock together of making a M113 from Australia. Specifically, these types had the Cadillac gauge turret. So there's actually 4 or 5 unique molds which have been made just for this particular kit. So look out for this. This should be available in the shop in a week or 2, hopefully. And we've been very lucky to get this copy here to have a quick review of from AFV Club Australia. So the great thing about this is, don't know if I can really show you much detail, but it does include, over here you may be able to see, there's some specific Australian weaponry. So there's the SLR rifles, there's Owen guns, which go back to World War II, there's Sterlings, and there's also F1 submachine gun from Australia. Now, the other components you'll find out. Oh, that's upside down now. So specifically, the turret itself is the main difference, and the turret can be built in 3 different versions. So you've got the 30 cal. You either have 2 30 cals within the turret, a 30 cal within the turret, and a 30 cal on a mounted above the turret, or you can have a 50 cal in the bottom and a 30 cal there. So there's other differences as well with the Australian versions. They had racks of ammunition across the top as well. And there's specific markings available for the late Vietnam era vehicles. So really nice kit. Thoroughly recommend it. And yeah, check out the video to see all the close-ups of each sprue. So that's pretty exciting. So I've got a few more kits, but what else do we have over your end?
Over my end?
Yeah, do you have anything?
That's a sneaky segue.
No, not at all.
What have we got? Let's have a look in Brett's box.
Yes.
That's a new, yeah. That's it. What's in there? What's in there today?
This is a Aeromax black box. As some of you might have known, I may or may have not have done a Facebook post today, and this is the Aeromax corner weight system. So it's way too finicky and detailed for me to get on with the webcam, but in essence, there's the corner weight scale system, and given the fact that I'm in lockdown and I'm tipping that lots of other racers are too and can't go to the track, this is the perfect time to break out the corner weights, get your cars all de-tweaked, dialed up, balanced, and ready to hit the track. Because yeah, it can be quite a finicky process, but yeah, something definitely worthwhile investing in, and it's definitely not something that I personally take to the track, but yeah, definitely between races, or if you're rebuilding a car or doing a kit build, it's a really good system where you've got a little scale under each wheel of the car, and you can sort out where you're going to put your electronics, where you're going to mount your battery in the car, all to get those sort of numbers where you think you want them for good handling.
It's incredibly accurate, isn't it? Because I quite like it how it shows you the actual percentages of left and right weight, and front to back as well. So you can make it 50-50 if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. So you can, it shows each corner as down to 0.1 of a gram accuracy, and then it shows the left to right balance and the front to rear balance. So yeah, you can really get it. Obviously, left to right on most circuit cars with, you know, not speedway or velodrome, we're going to go for 50-50 weight distribution left to right, because you want the car to be nice and centered and symmetrical that way, so it turns evenly around left and right corners. And front to weight bias you can play with to trim your handling in and the driving style. So most cars are sort of close to 50-50. You generally don't run more front weight bias unless it's a front wheel drive car. Some of the front wheel drive, like the TCR cars, they will be like maybe like a 60-40 or a 65-35% weight bias towards the front to obviously get some more weight over the front end and get some more traction.
Yeah. We'll talk about TCRs. We've got a special offer on TCRs at the moment, haven't we?
We have got my suitcase on the train was full, unfortunately, but yeah, we do have a special Hearns Racing exclusive one that got released today, which is very limited quantities. But we are effectively giving away 2 TCR conversion kits with the next 2 BD10s that sell. So you're getting $259 worth of additional kit on top of your BD10 for free. So you're getting 2 cars for the price of 1 effectively. And yeah, it's going to be good for the TCR class. And secretly, I'm hoping that 1 doesn't sell, because I'd love to race TCR at the VIX this year at TFTR in November. But if nothing else, well, I'll have to run 21.5.
It's a great deal just to get the class started, because it is sort of in its infancy, I think. And so
it is in its infancy. It has been going probably 2, I want to say 2 years, but it could be less, since we started running TCR. and it is basically a 190 mil wide front wheel drive touring car, effectively. Some of them are mid mount, so they have the motor in the middle of the car, and some of them are front mount, so they actually have the motor over the front axle in the front bumper bar. And there's pros and cons for both kinds, but there's still both kinds of racing. So
definitely,
the biggest thing with TCR is the hatch body and the spoked wheels, I suppose. The spoked wheels can be a bit of a sore point because of availability at the moment, but it does add a sense of scale and realism to the class.
For sure. I mean, it looks totally different, doesn't it, when you've got hatches going around? I mean, that goes back to the sort of rice burner Honda hatches and things like that.
Yeah, and they're really good looking. I don't have one here to show, but yeah, they're pretty cool, and they're a lot different dynamically to drive than a touring car. They're not as easy to drive.
Yeah.
They're not as fast, obviously, because they're two-wheel drive, they're front-wheel drive, but they're a controlled motor and speedy combination, but they are challenging and very rewarding at the same time. So very enjoyable to race.
Yep, for sure.
I actually took on one of the wheels, the spoke wheels.
Oh, that's one of the new ones.
Cool.
Yeah. So this particular's got a tread pattern as well, so it's a bit more for kind of wet type of driving or whatever. But this is the same wheel that we use in TCR effectively, and it do look really, really cool in my opinion. They're like a real race frame, really.
No, definitely look good.
Well, and they're based on a hand-cooked tread pattern, I think, those ones. And
That's
they are
correct.
the control tyre. Well, they are primarily used, I think, in TCR in Southeast Asia a lot. And that's why we were able to get our hands on them. So, and they're an all-new compound to us. They're a 34 compound in Sweep's new range. So it's really good to get them out. And I know the TCR guys are dying to try them. We have had that tread before, but it was in the previous compound, in the 36 compound 2 RPG. But now it's all new compound, or all new development, or all new liner. So yeah, looking forward to getting it out on track.
Definitely. So
Yeah,
Sweep
nice.
recommend this compound. That's what they run in as Brett suggested, in Southeastern Asia. In Australia, I think we tend to run softer tires at the back, but doesn't seem to be the case with this type of tires they run in Korea and in other regions, really. So just received them this week, so hopefully we can have a go at them in the next couple of weeks, I suppose.
Yep.
So it'll be a perfect opportunity to get the BD10 with the front conversion kit and have a go.
For sure.
And the Sweep tires, absolutely.
Definitely.
I guess if we're talking about cars, I guess another new kit that's come in. It's one of these.
Ooh.
Who doesn't like one of these?
Yeah.
So I mean, these particular Land Cruisers are very popular with the crawling crowd in Radio Control, aren't
It's
they?
got your name on it, BJ.
It has. 44. I'm a bit older than that now, but it's pretty close. So this particular version. So it's interesting that the Land Cruiser. They first started out in the 50s when I think it was around the Korean War, and the Americans needed a lot more Jeeps, so they asked Toyota to start making Jeep variations for them. So they made some larger versions, and that's how the Land Cruisers came about. Now, this particular version is a 1979, 1980 version. So you can choose between the two. So you've got soft top here, which is what it originally was released in, and then I think in 1980 it came out with the hard top. Now, the BJ44, a lot of people don't know that there was actually a short wheelbase, a long wheelbase, and this is actually a medium wheelbase. Now, Italeri, they've been around for a very long time. That's the national model manufacturer from Italy, of course, and so hence the Italian flag colours on their logo. And you see the aircraft because they predominantly did focus on aircraft, but they do quite a lot of aircraft and all different subjects as well. So let's have a quick look inside. I'll just show you the bodywork, I think, because the rest of it's going to be a bit hard to show you. But the bodywork is really very nice. Okay, so let's see if you can see that. Now, I'm not too sure how old this particular kit is. I don't think it's brand spanking new, but it's very, very crisp, everything. So you can see hardly any flashing. There's only this section here, which is part of the mold where they've chopped it off. So you just need to trim that off a bit. But you can see the hinge is already molded in. And then on the front, there's a Toyota, which is, if I can get the right angle, you can probably see it. It's very, very crisp. And then there's also a lot of molded in badging on the back as well. So three-dimensional badging, I mean, it's quite nice. So you get it like that to start with. And then, of course, let's see if I bring up the rest of it. It's all bagged together. All right, so you get this big bag of bits. So I'm not going to open it up. Let's pop that down here. Okay, so it's quite a simple kit. There's one large sprue, and then you've got the floor pan. So you'll probably be able to see the big black floor pan just there. You've got the your optional backs in here. So there's a soft top and hard top in there as well. Probably can't see on this side, but there's wheels, and then there's the interior. The clear parts, there's a lot of clear parts actually. There's a lot of glass on this particular truck. And then there's some nice rubber tires. So it seems flexible, but really nice tread patterns on them. And then there's a selection of decals. So I'll pick these up. Just like so. So mainly for the number plates, you can do it from all different places. And then there's some decals for the instrument panel as well. So this is just coming in the last week. So there again. So it's not the most difficult kit, but it looks really nice. The surface details is pretty good, and all the interior is, I guess it doesn't use a lot of parts, but it still looks pretty decent. And there's a body there. So 24 scale, so reasonable size. Most cars come in 24 scale. It's just about the right size so you can get quite a nice amount of detail, and also it's a decent size so it doesn't sort of disappear on your shelf.
Definitely.
Okay, could your lady drive that truck, BJ, or is she too big?
My lady?
That one.
She can fit inside. She'll take up the whole interior. Same colour. Might have to do that, man. Look a bit like a Barbie car.
We should scale it down to fit in that car, actually.
So yeah, so that's quite a surprisingly nice kit. So there we go again. So Toyota BJ44 Land Cruiser. So got those in the shop right now. Okay.
Very nice.
That's really nice.
Well, as we talk about kits, I will probably jump on some of the recent development with the Hearns workshop, because we are, more and more developing kits.
Yes.
The lady that BJ showed before will be in a kit form. Let me see if I can get this to focus. It's focusing my face. Here we go. So this one instead is a water crane in HL scale. So I guess if you are a model railway modeler, this will come really handy for your layouts. So in this raft, I have two separate ones. Will be sold as a one. We finalize it today, so will be for sale probably in the next week or so. But let me see if I can show you. That's the main tower here. And then on this side here, we have effectively the arm that goes across on top here. And it'll be fully detailed HL scale water tower. So it's a must-have for your railway layout, I guess. And still for railway, last couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, we presented the letterboxes. So we have those in 3 or 4 different configurations. So there's a single, there's a double one that does express and normal post, and then there is one in the post in a pole standing. But we also finalizing as we speak some really tiny. Oh, this would never focus. So let me see if I can do this way. Maybe here we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Almost. There we go. So these are some HL scale letters. Again, a very nice little touch to have on your layout when you have, a train station or even a house, to have some accessories. Very hard to show on camera. We have also some HL scale pallets. Let me do this again. Okay, so fully detailed pallets in HL scale. And the last thing that I was going to show tonight is even smaller. Let's see if I can grab it. Actually, two more things. So I have some beer crates here. Let's see. Okay, up forward like this. Here we go. Let me see if it focus up. Probably not.
It's a bit of a shame because they look really, really good. Oh, that's almost it. Yeah, there we go. That's it.
There we go. So these are HL scale beer crates or milk crates. So they should fit 24-liter bottles. They are really, really well detailed. They've got the space to actually put the bottles in. They're really tiny, and I guess you probably have to try to see them in person to actually see the fantastic level of detail. Then again, if you have a small shop or something in your layout, a few of those at the front will definitely be a must-have.
We need to get some mag visors for your camera, Nick.
Yeah, I think we do. I think so. We should try to put a 9-steps mag visor onto the camera. Let's see what happens. This looks like just a square, but is a luggage. So we have 3 different size luggages, again for HL scale. And again, the camera doesn't help, but they've got all the details of the latches and the handle. It's all in here. And they are between 4 millimeter and 6 millimeter in length. So very, very tiny. So big range of HL accessories coming. And we do have obviously the leathers also in, here we go, 35th scale, which if you're a diorama type person, some of those could come very, very handy.
Yeah.
So a few things from Hearns Workshop coming along. So next week could be a busy week. We'll be launching some of those.
Well, there's that one as well.
And then, we just start assembling our plugger. This guy here.
So Nick's holding onto Plugger, who was actually developed to fit onto the Kato chassis, so it could run around on a track. So what we've done is we've used that particular design and we've made Plugger into a static model kit. So that's the first model kit that we produced from Hearns Workshop. So nice little box there. So I've already started working on it, but that's basically the configuration that it's going to come in. So, whoops, losing some bits there. Let's pop that back here. Okay, so they're all going to be molded onto this. I guess it's like one big sprue. It's on a tray, and then you just need to cut the components off. And as you cut them off, you'll end up with basically like this. So you have the tram as bodywork. We've got the base there as well. Press that in, that clips in, and then there's going to be this little plinth as well. So after you finished it, once we've got the bogies on, it'll sit like that. And then we're going to paint it up and we'll have it on display. So we'll take some closer pictures of it as well so you have a better idea of what's going to look like. But it will look pretty much like Plugger is as Nick's holding up right there. So it comes up very nice. And I think I'll paint this up in a different color. We'll probably go with the brown on this one, either as the early city circle look or even the restaurant trams, which unfortunately aren't on the tracks anymore. So give that a bit of thought and we'll see what we'll do. But that's what I started on.
Good plan. Going to pop in the chat the video of Plugger going around Melbourne.
Yep.
Here it is. So a few weeks ago, probably during the previous lockdown actually, Plugger went to visit Melbourne. So there's a little cute video we did around the empty streets of Melbourne actually.
And it showed how eerily quiet Melbourne is during lockdown, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was
a normal bustling little town.
Yep.
Can I add a segue to boxes?
Boxes? Yes. I had a box here. What sort of box have you got?
Oh, I thought you'd never
boxes.
ask. Oh, I'm going to reach back here. That is a new box. Now, it doesn't look like much, but this is a custom design artwork box. This is done by one of our team drivers who's got a side business called Tix R&D, so Tix Race Developments, and he's engineering these custom pit boxes, if you will, these race boxes, They're made from corrugated cardboard. So it's not like paper cardboard sort of thing. It's like a plastic box. There's 5 in a set, and you can get them done to match your kit. So they come in all different shapes and sizes. So you can see I've had these done to mimic sort of the Hearns racing colours that we're running at the moment. And these are really cool things. So look up Tix R&D or hit us up. You can see I've had more made. There's some for Richard. He's had some made up for him. And so they come in 5 different shapes and sizes to carry all your bits and pieces. Other things that I worked on this week, obviously we've been, or not obviously, but we were prepping and getting ready to run at Bendigo On-Road this week, which is a regional club to Melbourne. We were going to take the GTE 8 guys out there and have a run this week. So we fitted up and painted a new body to one of the cars, to Richard's car back here. And I did a little bit of a painting tutorial on a basic carbon fiber finish that I like to use on TCR and GT wings, where we don't predominantly run clear wings per se, but more painted wings. So it's a bit of an effect there. So that painted wing's yet to be fitted to this new GTE 8 body on this on this Biddy Design body here. But during lockdown, no racing, plenty of time to get out the corner weight scales and just prepare for the next run.
And if you're using a corner weight scale, you should probably be using also your Orca little spirit level system to level your board, which somewhat is really important because I guess once you put your car on the bench, if your bench is not level, obviously even the weight distribution of your car is not going to be consistent. So do you have one there?
No, I don't have one here. I know that you thought I bought one home, but I actually looked in my big box that I bought with me on the train, and I actually forgot it. But look forward to a Facebook post tomorrow on the Orca board leveling system. So that screws to, like Nick was saying, screws to your pit board, and it's got a sight glass, a sight bubble that goes, obviously you put it in the middle of your board, and you adjust the legs up to get your board perfectly level to ensure that your weight distribution or your scales are going to be spot on.
Definitely. So all things to fine tune and I guess have a bit of fun and experimenting with your RC car, which indeed are pretty much like a Formula One car.
Well, for me personally, more than half the fun is the workshop time or the bench time. So a bit of lockdown and a bit more time on the tools won't hurt.
Definitely. Well, talking about tools, I'm going to bring up a set here, which we just received actually. Different type of application for this set is for those that do Tamiya cars. So what we did is develop a little tool set like this, which does have the few tools that you definitely need when you buy your first little Tamiya car. Make it an Hornet or Grasshopper or something like that. This will come with a couple of Phillips head screwdriver, a 5 millimeter one. Screwdriver, a 3.5 Phillips head here. So you get two Phillips head. That should cover most of your needs. And then you have your 1.5 mil hex, which is needed for pinions and things like that. And also we thought to include supplies, this, which do come really handy when you build a Tamiya car to get ball ends in and just I guess cut the parts of the sprue with the blades you have in here, and this should make your build a lot easier actually.
And that'll go for on-road cars, your off-road cars, pretty much all the Tamiya kits, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They will have that. They will have a lot of the Tamiya kits, other than TRF kits. They all still have Phillips head screws and self-tapping applications. So 9 steps have got the spinning handle on the back, which give a real nice, comfortable feel on the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
They're actually really good quality. And when the tips do wear, and tips do wear, all of them, you can replace it with you can even put a flash like tungsten tool bit in there from Aramax.
That's right.
That's a good
So,
set.
anyway, this is one of the few sets we've got. I think now 3 sets from 9 steps, and you have the Tamiya kind of starter sets, and then we move to a 5 pieces kind of generic, 1.5 to 2.5 millimeter hex and the sockets, and then you have a 7-piece set, which will include also your wheel wrench for 1/8.
Yeah. And that wheel wrench is fantastic. I use it day in, day out, obviously with the EP8s and the GTE8s, and it is a fantastic tool. You'll find it won't be far from my kit.
Here we go.
They're nice and funky, and they fit in your palm really well.
Yeah. And even silly things like doing what I really like about it is a stupid thing like doing the hot bodies. They have a pin that goes through the wheel hex, and they have a grub screw that comes in. So to get that nice and tight, you actually put your Allen key through the center of the hex and put this on the hex of the wheel, and you can do it up through the axle.
Hold it.
Yeah. You can hold the hex without having to get pliers or multi grips or anything silly like that. So some of the other ones they're not hollow in their centerpiece, so you can't put your Allen key through it to do them up.
That's pretty cool. That's that tool set. So that's just new for the Tamiya car. So I guess if you're in lockdown and you're looking at building an RC car, that's probably a good little start to get.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, well, I think Tamiya is starting to take off a little bit. Not take off a bit. I mean, Tamiya have been around since they have the forefathers of radio control, but I think some of the clubs, the on-road clubs, sort of stepping back. They want to try and create a more entry-level class. So they have the Tamiya trucks, which sort of comes and goes, but they're trying a TTO1, TTO2 touring car formula to get that entry level in. So that toolkit will be perfect for those cars as well.
Absolutely. And while we're talking about Tamiya kits, we just received notification that in the next week or two, we should be receiving a huge delivery of vintage kits that will include the Hornet, some Grasshoppers, I think some lunch boxes, White Willie, really a good solid restock, which we haven't had since really last year, pretty much. It'll be about.
Is there any frogs coming, Nick?
Any what?
Frogs.
I don't think there's frogs, actually. I don't think there's frogs. But, it's a very solid restock of all the vintage car and some of the TTO1, TTO2s. What else I've seen? There's some of the trucks, actually, for those who like the big trucks. A bit of everything. So 6x6 con head. What else did I see there? A bit of everything, really. So we received a very small delivery when it was probably 3 months ago, which disappeared very quickly, and now finally we start seeing a bit more stock. So it looks like Tamiya is ramping up again with production, which is quite positive. So hopefully by Christmas we'll have some really good stock there.
We're talking about 9 steps here, for.
Yes.
So wasn't Brett talking about the mag visors before?
I was.
Yes.
So I can figure out these. They've got really bright LED light. They've got quite a few different lenses. I've actually got the second most powerful lens on it at the moment. So just to give you a sort of demonstration, when I'm painting this sort of figure, to get close up. Mm-hmm. So this is basically how close I get so they can see the face and such. And then I've got a selection of the God hand brushes. So I don't know if everyone's seen these. These are the short handed brushes. So the idea is you hold it within your fingers, and if you're using this sort of mag visor, you actually get really close without the brush hitting against the lenses. So I'm still really close, as you can see, and I can still access the actual model. So they're the God hand brushes. So you can get these in the full length as well. These particular ones I've been using, particularly around the face, because when I've been painting around the eyes, it's been really hard to get right in there. I mean, I've seen some people get regular brushes and just chop them down, but I mean that's a bit of a waste because it looks really ugly. And these are nice because they've got the really chunky, thick grip. So you can see how it fits in the palm of my hand. And they've got 5 different types of nibs. So I'll see if I can hold them all up. So I've got them all here. So predominantly they're all pretty fine because I understand that these are going to be used for fine work. So we've got 3 different pointed ones. One super fine one, which is the one I use to do the outlines around the eyeballs and the pupils and such. And then there's a really long one, which is for lining. So the idea is with a longer bristle, it can carry a lot more paint, so it can work longer. It's also helpful when you're doing washes in panel lines too. So that's that second one there. And then there's a oblique one, which is basically a flat brush, but it's been cut on an angle. So it gives you the versatility of holding at different angles, so you can have it sharp or you can have it flat, and then it will be oblique as well. So it helps with the blending of flesh tones. And also if you hand brush camouflage, it will help you blend the camouflage edges as well. So these are really good. So these are actually a little bit cheaper than the regular guide hand. The other benefit of these particular ones is they use the same sort of synthetic bristles as the others. So as these start, I guess, losing their shape, as they start flaying, like they go a bit wild, you drop them into some hot water. So you just poke them into some hot water, which is about 90 degrees, and you'll be able to reshape those bristles back to straight. So even though they cost a little bit more than other brushes, simply by having that feature there makes them worthwhile because it heavily extends their life. So they're guide hand short grip brushes.
Brilliant. Very nice. Meanwhile, Tony's asking if you're going to see a super clotbuster. And unfortunately, Tony, we're not going to have the ability of getting one yet. But hopefully in the near future, we will have that opportunity again. So super clotbuster. I thought you already bought one, didn't you? I thought
super clotbuster. I think there was a super clotbuster that was announced, I think, and we're sort of expecting it, but yeah, it's probably going to be heavily delayed now.
Well, while we talk about Tamiya, BJ, there is a new 112 scale kit that we saw being announced recently. Yes. So to me, it looks like they've been re-releasing quite a few of their early 112 scale kits. The last lot being the 12 scale Porsches, so the 934 series and the 935. And they've done a couple of F1s, and the latest F1 is going to be the Brabham BT44. So the Brabham BT44 has got this very interesting sort of sloped bodywork along the sides, and they've upgraded it with the addition of photo etch parts, some spun aluminium engine trumpets, so intake trumpets, which are really nice. And then also, what else is there? There's cartograph decals, which if you've ever built one of those early kits, the decals can be very, very thick. And if you've got a vintage kit, there's a good chance that they're cracked. So it's very nice to be able to get a brand new kit, which has got all the fresh moldings, but then also all the latest technology add-ons as well. So I think that's due in probably around August. Okay, so I guess we'll have that one listed very soon. So very much looking forward to a big Tamiya kit again. They've been very popular, actually. Yes. Very good. Looks like we lost Brett, so his internet connection must have dropped out. But anyway, he should be back in a minute. Meanwhile, Tony is confirming that he bought the bullhead. I remember that probably two years ago or so, maybe actually during last year lockdown, perhaps. Before or during that, he bought a big Tamiya RC. Some really good painting scheme as well on that one from memory.
All right, so I guess what else we've got? I've got a few other things too. We'll get something a bit different. Yes. So with the green stuff world that arrived, so one of the things that caught my eye was this. So these are the crystals. They're made of resin. Now we had these before, so they're usually in different colors. So you get clear ones, red ones, blue ones, green ones. So Let's see if you can pick that up. So it's got a whole bunch of them inside, they're all different. So if you can imagine the sort of crystals you see in a fantasy cave, that's the whole idea of these. But these particular ones are the glow-in-the-dark ones. So let me see if I can charge them up. And I've got my UV torch here. Oh, okay, yeah.
Catching away.
All right, so she's acting as a curtain at the moment as I'm charging this up. All right, here we go. All right, so this is just a UV torch. So this UV torch is also from Green Stuff. And you usually use this for setting UV resins. Let's see if you can see that glowing now.
Oh, wow. Yep, definitely.
Turn off the light. Does that help a bit?
Yep.
So it's pretty bright. So just to add a bit more dimension to either your dioramas, or the wargamer guys love to use these on their small bases because that adds so much interest. There's all different shapes and sizes in there, as you can see, moving around. Oh, Q likes it as well. So yeah, there's something different. What else we got here? So I've got some, let's turn those lights on again. We've got some Gundam bases, which are quite interesting. So these are all brand new. These are bases. So if you're familiar with Bandai, they do make quite a number of bases to hold up your Gundam models. And what they've done with this one is they've made this base look like a city. So it's the base of a city. Let's see. Oh, it's really dark, isn't it? So I guess this one here has been painted up to look like a metropolitan city with the skyscrapers. And then you've got your Gundam here on top. So it appears that they're fighting over the city. So if you've seen any of the animation, you'll know that Gundam are actually really huge. They're 1:144 scale. So they are much bigger than any building around. And as you can see, they're modular in shape. So you get a few pieces, and if you buy more than one packet, you can add them together and just expand upon that as well. You can see, yeah. Now, apart from that one, I think this is really clever. This is the underwater type diorama. So what you've got here is you've got the splash effect. So you can see the Gundam flying through the water to do the splash effect. And then over here, you can actually have your Gundam look like they're actually fighting under the water as well, with the water splash across the top there. You've got these various add-ons here, so you can either have the splash itself, or these are the plugs that cover it up. So it looks like it's a level skin of water. So really versatile. As you can see there's quite a few different supports. So you could have a couple of Gundam within there and set them up to fight. And again, it's modular, so you can add different bits and pieces and make it into a bigger scene. So I thought that was really clever, and they're not particularly expensive. I mean, the smaller bases are around the $12, $13 mark, and this one's around about $24. There's quite a bit more in there. So I thought that was really nice.
I guess as you're talking about Gundams, I thought to show this one up. I think arrived this week or last week. This one here. Let me see if we can get it on camera correctly so you can see the name. So I'm not quite familiar with what the series is all about, but I thought this was really interesting. Let me put on a big screen here. You may have to help me on the story behind this one, but I really particularly like the fact they had all this.
It's really a unique look. I mean, it's I think we've lost Nick there, but that's all good. There's so there's a Kshatriya, which I really don't know very much about, but it's got quite a few. I guess there's a big armor type wings which cover it up. And I think Warwick's probably got a better idea on this one because he's built or started building one of the resin ones. So let's see. I think, if we look here, I think we've lost Nick, maybe. So if Nick's totally gone, then it'll just be me. All right, so what have I got to show you? Let's see. Let's have a look at, okay, I'll show you some of my Mac collection. All right. Let's see. What's happening here? We'll just catch up here. All right. I don't know if everyone can see what's going on here. Let's see. Oh, coming back.
Oh, we're all back.
Oh,
Sorry, everyone, we had a bit of a break. Don't know something happened here. Looks like you
That's what I was just about to show my little collection of Mac stuff here. So,
all right, you can carry on.
All right, so I'm just going to show off a few things that I've collected. Now, Mac, if you're not aware, we've probably talked about it plenty enough. So it's Maschinen Krieger. All this has been developed by a Japanese artist called Kao Yokoyama, and he started doing this in the 1980s. And in conjunction with a couple of other artists and the magazine Hobby Japan, they started making a rough futuristic storyline based in Australia. So this is in the future, and it's when the world is basically not inhabitable, all the people left, and then colonists came along, and then obviously with the colonists, they're getting oppressed, and then they start a rebellion. And so this is where all these suits come about. So Polar Bear, they're part of the colonists, so I guess you can call them the good guys, although, you know, in warfare, who's good and who's bad, who knows. But this is a Polar Bear. So this is one of the very classical type suits. So when I was a kid, I picked up a small kit from Hobby Shop, can't remember which one, but I fell in love with the whole aesthetics of it. So this is a variation of the suit I got when I was a kid. So Polar Bear, so this one's designed to be worked in the polar regions, obviously. Okay, so from there, I've got the Nise. So the whole idea of all these designs is Kao Yokoyama got bits and pieces and mashed them together from various existing plastic kits. So the whole suit of this sort of thing, they actually started off as being part of a helicopter. So this was a helicopter canopy around here, and that was actually the front, and the tail would have been this part. And so that's how it gets these weird shapes. And I quite like the Nise because it looks a bit like a lobster, I guess. Okay, so from there, we've got the Friedrich. So Friedrich was one of the later releases. Before this, it was only available as a twin set with actually this one. So Kusta. So the other thing to remember about these particular kits is generally with each release, they won't come out again in the same boxing. So they're always going to be quite different in terms of the packaging. The kit itself will probably be about the same, so that's what makes these collectible as well. Because the artwork, because Kao Yokoyama is an artist, he will make new box art for them. And these ones here will go up in value as you add them to your collection. So the thing is, I'm not much of a collector. I do have them at the moment, but they will be built in the future. So that's my little collection of Maschinen Krieger.
Beautiful. Very, very exciting. Well, I don't know where you guys lost me before, but we were talking about this guy. And so let's put it back in a big screen. Here we go. So we received this week, and while Warwick was putting them away, I definitely identified this is for him. It's perfectly designed for one of his crazy Warwick's project. I think it's really fascinating. He's got so many of these dots, and it looks like he's got really many eyes. And you know, as you can build it in many different ways. He's got his 4 big wings, and it looks like you can have them open and close. And when they are enclosed, it looks like I don't know what does it look like a big. I don't know,
it's got a very insect style design, doesn't it? Like a beetle.
That's it. And there's some more photos on this side of the box here. Let me see if I can get them across. It's definitely a very new design to me, really, and definitely caught my eye. So here we go.
Are you going to build that one, Nick?
I'll see him build.
I don't think so. I've got actually a couple of other things that I'm building. A little Gundam Hello Kitty I'm building with my daughter, and also I'm building a frame armor girl that's been in a drawer for a little while. Maybe she's going to make an appearance this weekend. Let's see.
Good.
So,
good.
No, I think this is not going to be a build for me, but definitely beautiful, interesting kit. Very good. What else do we have? I think.
I don't know. Do we have anything else?
Towards the end. Do you have anything else, Brett?
I think my boxes are empty.
Well, I did have a couple of other kits that I took on my way out the other day. Hello Kitty. That's the one I'm building too.
Have I showed these before? I can't remember.
I think we did actually, but they're really cool. I think they can be merged at the end, can they?
Yes. So eventually you can merge it like this, and there's a huge helmet that fits over Hello Kitty's head. That looks like the RX-78. So we're not quite there yet. So still separate entities, but eventually we're going to push them together, and they're going to be Hello Kitty Gundam. Really nice kits. So these are part of the celebration of the anniversaries.
Really nice. And I guess as we talk about Gundam is made by Bandai. Bandai produces quite a few different kits, and I think we received those a couple of weeks ago. And that's a Mask Rider, and I think they have this series in quite a few different kind of configurations and type, and I think they're really fascinating. Again, the way they design and the look and the creativity that goes into some of these models. I don't have much background specifically on the series, but it's definitely really really nice to.
It's very typical of Japanese 60s and 70s aesthetics. So they did a lot of suit type superheroes with machinery. These particular guys, this series started off as Kamen Rider. So these guys ride around in their souped up motorcycles. And I actually don't know the story, but I guess they're like superheroes that go around fighting each other and saving the day. But it looks like the series has been reborn with this new Mask Rider series. So these are very modern. So they're current characters based on the earlier characters. And because they're the figurized type model, they've got really nice joints so they can be fully posed. And the great thing about how they're posed, I guess they're like the frame arm girls, you can use them for stop motion photography and making stop motion animation as well. So they're really good. That comes with a stand, right?
This one does come with a stand. Yep, it's here.
Yeah, so you can pose them in all sorts of like kicking poses. You don't have to worry about him falling over. So if you imagine if you just want to play around with some stop motion animation, I think it's quite easy to do with like some of the Apple devices and such.
Yeah.
The kids can get into it. And they're easy to put together because you don't need any glue as well, and they're already pre-colored.
And they're pre-painted. So
yeah,
unless you want to just highlight some of the the sword and with some metallic finishing or whatsoever, they're ready to go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very good. Excellent. All right then. I think we are almost at the closing, unless anyone else has questions.
Don't know if we've got anything else. I think that's about it, eh?
I think so.
I was going to venture into some tire sanding and tire preparation, but I really don't think that my studio's up to it.
All right.
After lockdown and in the proper studio.
Yeah.
Good.
Fair enough. Well, I guess we'll see if there's anyone who has any questions. If there's any questions at all, open to take question about anything. You can direct it at myself or the man with the tie hanging off his ear, or
that's right.
Yep, or Nick. And
yeah,
we'll give it a go.
Let us know. I'm just. I was going to show my Madvan while we wait for questions. Madvan has made quite a few appearances over the time on the live, And the madman ended up on a skate park last week and is slightly injured. I think we broken a gear at some point. So madman's going to have to go through some bit of repairs this weekend.
Oh, really?
But yeah, there's a gear ticking. So we went for a scooter ride with the girls on the weekend, and the madman came with us. And eventually something started clicking.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'll put the other leg on the figure here. So
let me put on the bigger screen.
What she's going to look like.
There we go.
So that's the basic pose. You can't see her other arm at the moment. It won't hold in place, but that's going to be holding a samurai sword. So you can see the samurai sword here.
She's going to have 2 weapons.
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, what heroine doesn't have 2 weapons? What are you talking about?
Wow.
And many others.
Yeah. So it's going to look good. So I'll make a nice base for this. And
I want a toy to play with.
You want a toy to play with?
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Here we go.
Here you go.
No, you win by size. Oh, she lost the leg.
It looks bigger. It looks bigger in person, doesn't it?
It
So
does.
it's going to have a wing stuck on. It's going to have some stickers.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at. I had to freshen up, ready for racing. Yeah.
I would push in there.
Sorry?
Angus is wondering how Mugen Seiki stock is going.
I don't think we can properly address the question. We don't stock very much Mugen. There's a store in South Australia. Just trying to remember the name. Who actually stocking most of the Mugen stuff for the country. So I'm pretty sure they're doing well. They look after the brand quite well. So just get in contact with what was the name? I can't remember.
Is it RC Hobby Zone?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. And the distributor and supplier of hot race tires as well. So just give them a call then in Adelaide, and they'll be able to, help you with the Mugen parts.
Yeah, that's the thing with us. It's really hard to do every brand well, isn't it? So you sort of have to pick your supplied, pick your preferred brands and really run with it and do those well. And I'd like to think that we do what we do really well.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, okay. I guess we coming to an end here tonight. So we've done over an hour and a bit again, an hour and 15 minutes. So very nice. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us from home. Hopefully we are back live from the studio, from the store next week, if everything goes well. Otherwise, we may end up seeing everyone here again next week. So
fantastic.
Make sure to follow us through the week on social media. Just comment to our post, let us know what you would like to see. And we'll have a video coming out every day.
Every day. Yeah. So at the moment, we've got the review of the M113 I showed you earlier. And then we also have the review on the brand new Tamiya 148 scale F4B Phantom. And the first series of the build I'm doing is already on YouTube. So have a look at that if you'd like to watch me build something. It's a slow watch, so it's up to you if you like. It looks like quite a few people have watched it already. But the second one is already in motion, so that'll be available to view next week.
I was going to see if I can find the link. Maybe able to find the link of the build of the Phantom for those that are interested. Here we go. Coming up. So this is the build of the Phantom for all that are interested. So jump on our YouTube channel and have a look. There's quite a few videos out there. And there's a few videos that Brett has produced in the last few weeks for shock maintenance and quite a few other ones. What else did you do?
Painting one, and if we're home this time next week, I might even have a Scalatrix set up and running. Who knows?
Oh, excellent.
That's it. Brilliant.
Fantastic, guys.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Have a good weekend. Thank you for joining us tonight, and shall see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
See you, everyone.
Stay safe.